Do you think Black women with degrees and professional careers are expected to settle more than their non Black counterparts?
Black women who think like this, did y'all ever think that Black men that are meeting those requirements are actually settling for you guys? And shout out to Kevin Samuels for mentioning this. He said when Black women get bored, they're like, oh, let me go get another degree.
So the theory is true. When you are a Black woman who finds yourself bored with nothing really going on in your life, you register for college.
I wanted to understand what the level means, and I found this podcast. Well, it was on TikTok, but I'm assuming that they have a podcast on YouTube. It was called Suburban Black Girls, and they put out this video and they talk about relationships and education and things like that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So now I have a grasp, somewhat of a grasp, on what some Black women mean by "are you on my level?"
Do you think Black women with degrees and professional careers are expected to settle more than their non-Black counterparts? As we get older, and it's kind of like you're over 30 and you're a Black woman, and we've achieved a certain amount of things. I've seen their expectations of what they want in a man change as they get older, because you're starting to realize like some of those things that you really want, it's becoming harder to achieve or have. So as you're getting older, you're like, I can accept a kid or two. I can accept if he's maybe makes less than me. I can accept the fact that he's 5'8" and not 6'3". Yeah, it's still kind of a form of settling. But then again, I hate saying the word settling because it's like, no one is perfect. Even us as women, there are things that we don't have. So is it still a form of settling? Yes or no? I mean, I think everyone's opinion on that is different.
First, he said Black women over 30, which is one, the degrees, and also kids. Let's throw a fourth one in there, money. So I kind of got a grasp, but I just wanted to explain to Black women who think like this. Did y'all ever think that Black men that are meeting those requirements are actually settling for you guys? Education in the Black community. Popular Black social media discussion. Black women have more degrees than Black men, and that's why it's hard for Black women to get married. If you meet 10 Black men, how many do you think earn/hold a bachelor's degree or higher? And I asked the same question for Black women. Let's start here. Black women under 20, that's when they have 42.2% of their children, right? So then 20 to 24, 34 to 39, 34.9% have children. 25 to 29, 12.3%. Black men under 20, 14.1% of their children. And then 20 to 24, 38%. Then 25 to 29, 22.5%. And all these statistics are from Family Growth and, the CDC report, the Fertility report from 2015 to 2019. This was published January 2023. So this is very accurate. By the time Black women are 29 years old, 89.4% already have children. And then by the time Black men are 29, 74.6% already have children. So that's a 14.8% difference in favor of Black women. If you take all things equal, you take a Black woman and a Black man and you put them in that age 30 category, 9 times out of 10, I would say, 9 times out of 10, that Black woman is already going to have children. As opposed to Black men, a little over 3 or 7 out of 10 have children. So there's a gap there. There's like 2-person gap, I would say, right? So I just wanted to explain that portion to it, because I think women like that, they're going into it thinking that Black men are having all these children. However, Black men tend to have their children when they're older. Black women tend to have the majority of their children when they're younger. So that's why when Black women hit age 30 and Black men hit age 30, it's about 9 out of 10 have kids. Black men, a little over 7 out of 10 have children. So in that aspect, Black men would be settling. And then also, let me put things into perspective for the education, because we always talk about this, like Black women have more degrees and they're outpacing Black men in regards to education. Post-Secondary Policy Institute. This is for men of color. The rate for Asian men who have bachelor's degrees or higher at age 25 would be 52.9%. For black men, it is 22%. If you see 10 black men, 2 of them have a bachelor's degree or higher. Tell me if I'm lying if you guys have heard this narrative. Black women are outpacing black men by so much. Put a 1 in the chat. So you would assume out of 10 black men, only 2 have bachelor's degrees or higher. So you would assume that black women would be at least 7, 8. By the way, the black community talks about this. Let me educate you. Same report for women of color in higher education from the Post-Secondary National Policy Institute. According to the Census American Community Survey, in 2023, 19.2% of the total U.S. population identified as women of color. In total, 9.6% of the population were Hispanic or Latino women, 6.1% were black women, 3.1% were Asian women, and 0.3% were American Indian/Alaska Native women, and 0.1% were Native Hawaiian/Pacific Islander women. Among women of color, age 25 or over, 31.2% had earned a bachelor's degree or higher. The rate for Asian women is 56.7%. So there goes that notion of black women being the most educated. It's not true. And then for black women, it is 29.3%. Okay? 29.3%. So the black community is so up in arms about black men not going to school. Literally 2 black men, 3 black women. Okay? Out of 10. Makes sense? So no, black women are not outpacing black men like people are trying to discuss it. So it's only a 1-person difference. Did y'all know that? Is this new information to you guys based off of the conversations that you hear on social media? Because they tried to pigeonhole black men in regards to HBCUs, in particular Howard University. And they tried to make it seem like all these black men just not going to college. Guess what? Black women not graduating from college either. Okay? 2 to 3. And also, before somebody asks, well, you didn't get that from the National Center for Education and Statistics. Data sources: American Community Survey and Current Population Survey, U.S. Census Bureau, February 2025. Bachelor and Beyond Survey, National Center for Education and Statistics, November 2023. Digest of Education Statistics, National Center of Education and Statistics, February 2025. And National Post-Secondary Student Aid Survey, National Center for Education and Statistics, February 2025. And you can see right here, updated February 2025. If college is your goal and you're not going for a trade or you're not trying to be an entrepreneur, then yes, I will encourage you to go to school. I would love to see the black community at least at half. If you meet 10 black women, 50% have a degree. If you meet 10 black men, 50% have a degree. And the reason why I say that is because that's the easiest way to building wealth. People with degrees earn more money. People with degrees stay married longer. Okay? So I know people like to push back, and I'm not trying to get into debt. I definitely understand that. However, the statistics show that if you have a bachelor's degree, you get higher paying jobs. But also, I'm not done, because I know somebody is out there like, man, nah, you lying, medium man. It's 38% of black women that have degrees, and only 26% of black men have bachelor's degrees or higher. So you guys see this here? It's a very simple graph. It says 38 to 26, 2024. If you read the fine print on this Pew Research article, guys, so you won't be going out there, the percentage is from ages 25 to 34. It says right at the top, gender gap in college completion varies by race and ethnicity in the U.S. Percentage of 25 to 34-year-olds with a bachelor's degree. There you have it, guys. So they're only taking this information from the ages 25 to 34. And I know most people are like, well, that's the sweet spot for all people to get their degrees. I understand that. However, if you only want to utilize 25 to 34, then you're going to be cutting off a significant percentage of black women who go to school at later ages. And also the black women, hint, hint, who are parents in college by the numbers. I'm going to break this down for you guys. And this is just showing the student mothers and student fathers, and the student mothers are in the purple. And this is all, okay? 2.6% of student mothers, and these are statistics from the Institute for Women's Policy Research, from 2015 to 2016. At that time, it was 2.6 million student mothers, and then student fathers is 1.1 million. And then 1.6 million were single mothers, and 439,000 were single fathers. And then you go down here, 1 million women were married who are mothers, and 697,000 men were married who are single fathers. Let's keep going. Let's break this down too before somebody asks a question about, well, if black women have a lot of kids and black men do too. Absolutely not. When they go to college. No. 2 in 5 black women in college are mothers. And this is the share of students from 2015 to 2016. I'm pretty sure this has increased. However, at the time of this report, that's the highest bar. That represents black women. The white are women. The purple are men. This is for the black community. 40%, 2 in 5, 40% of black women who are in college are mothers, whether married or unmarried. Only 21% of black men who are in college are fathers, whether married or unmarried. So again, once you start increasing the ages, it's starting to look more like black men would actually have to settle, not black women. So at the bottom here, it says student parents tend to be older while enrolled in college than their peers without children. Student parents' median age is 32 years old, compared with 27 for independent students without children and 20 for dependent students. 3 in 5 student parents are 30 and older. Roughly 1/4 are 24 to 29. So the reason why this is important is because I know there's going to be somebody that's going to think, well, if we just focus on the 25 to 34, then it will be higher for black women. It's 38%. But if you do that, you have to cut out a significant amount of black women who go to college when they're older. And shout out to Kevin Samuels for mentioning this. He said when black women get bored, they're like, oh, let me go get another degree.
So the theory is true. When you are a black woman who finds yourself bored with nothing really going on in your life, you register for college.
So there's this notion that when black women are bored, we go back to school. And I definitely do agree because I currently have a bachelor's, I just got my master's, and I'm in a PhD program, and I'm getting ready to go to pilot school.
Black girl board phase. I'm there. I seen y'all that was in it, and I did not think that I would ever be in it. I'm like, people going back for their PhDs. I'm gang now. I'm gang now.
Those women are not in their 20s. So when you start looking at 30 and you start to go up, that's when a lot of black women either start school or they go back to school. And I don't have anything wrong with that. Get your education, okay? But just be mindful if you try and use that 38 to 26% statistic, because you got to cut out a large amount of black women. Women in student debt. Women make up just over half of students enrolled in all sectors of higher education, yet hold almost 2/3 of the country's student debt. $929 billion. It's actually increased since then. Women who take out loans borrow an average of $31,000, about 7% more than men. And many women of color borrow significantly more. And this is another thing. People always say they're trying to target black women. No, they're trying to educate y'all. And you see all these reports every time they have like something, talking about like debt or something like that. They always use a caveat and say particularly black women, because that's what they're saying. Black women need the most help. That's why you see all these grants. Goldman Sachs, they're looking at the statistics and they're trying to help y'all. And y'all get offended when people point out this stuff. If they're highlighting you, then you have to be sure that something's in place to try and help. Cumulative debt on women's graduate loans, including principal and interest 1 year after graduation by race and ethnicity. So this is cumulative debt. This is for graduates and bachelors. $75,000. That is the highest amongst all women. Second, Asian women at $70,000, who are the most educated. So at the top here at orange that you guys see, this is for undergraduate loans. Black women, $41,000, which is the highest in that. And then the total. Okay, guys? And if you think I'm lying about these statistics, you can look at the little, you put it in Chat GPT or whatever the hell, and it shows you the several data points, and it goes by year. Around 2021, 30.8% of Black women aged 25 and over in the United States obtained at least a bachelor's degree. Then in 2022, it decreased 28.3%. Then, like I just reported, in 2023, 29.3% of Black women aged 25 or older earned a bachelor's degree or higher. Compared to men, Black women are significantly more likely to earn college degrees. In 2021, Black women had at least a bachelor's degree compared to 24.9%. So you see how they word this? Black women are significantly more likely than Black men to earn college degrees. From this report in 2021, that is 30.8% to 24.9%. That does not constitute a significant gap. Y'all tell me, okay? 30.8% to 24.9%. That is not significant at all. So you guys have to be mindful of how they word certain things, but they would try and sneak you. All right, they try and sneak these things in there to try and shame Black men a little bit. But when you start looking at stuff, you see the actual truth. Key takeaway that you need to leave this video with is that 29.3% of Black women over the age of 25 hold a bachelor's degree or higher, as opposed to Black men, 22%. That's it. So when you hear the Black community talking about they have far more degrees than Black men, no, it's not true. Okay, there you have it. And please, like I always say, I could be lying. I would advise you to fact check me, okay? Because like I said, you don't know me and I don't know you, so I could be making all this shit up. I could have typed this up, a while back. So you might want to check what I'm looking at.